All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, please, up here on the Bandshell stage. We are going to get started with our opening ceremonies here at this 20th annual Parkinson's Unity Walk. So please, a huge round of applause. Welcome me and joining to the stage, CEO of the Parkinson's Alliance, Carol Walton.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Can you all hear? Okay. May I see a show of hands? How many today are here for the very first time, your very first Unity Walk? These numbers blow me away. It looks like a lot of you. Well, congratulations. Thank you for being here. You're going to have a great day, and welcome to the 20th Parkinson's Unity Walk. We're going to have our short kickoff program right here. We're going to start the walk as close to 10 as we can. And as we did last year, the entertainment will start about 11 o'clock, and it will all be here on the Bandshell. And for the 5th year in a row, AbbVie is our proud partner and premier sponsor. I'm going to be introducing, give him a hand. I'm going to introduce Maureen Conley from AbbVie in just a few minutes, and she's going to explain more about their programs this year. We'd like to thank some of our other sponsors today. At the diamond level, we have Teva, CNS, UCB, and US World Meds. At the platinum level, we have Boston Scientific Intrepid, LSVT Global, Medtronic, MRI Interventions, Chelsea Therapeutics, and Partners in Parkinson's. At the gold level, the Tuchman Foundation, PJ's Pancake House, and First Choice Bank. At the silver level, we have Sony and the Kenneth Adickman Family Foundation. And for our in-kind sponsors, our tote bag sponsor is Medtronic with those gorgeous blue bags. The coffee sponsor is UCB. And again this year, we have to thank the Wilkins Parkinson Foundation. How many of you were in a Metro bus with Parkinson's Unity Walk ads, or looked at the subway, or the digital urban boards, or that big digital billboard in Times Square between 46th and 47th? So we thank the Wilkins Parkinson Foundation. We also want to thank the 7 major Parkinson's Foundations that receive funds from the Parkinson's Unity Walk: American Parkinson Disease Association, National Parkinson Foundation, Parkinson's Disease Foundation, Parkinson's Action Network, the Parkinson's Institute, the Parkinson Alliance, and the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. And a huge thank you to all of our volunteers. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the Parkinson Alliance, as well as the Parkinson's Unity Walk, Marty Tuchman. As many of you know, Marty's wife, Margaret, is the president of the Parkinson Alliance and has had Parkinson's disease for almost 36 years. And trust me, because I work for them, I know more than many people the amount of dedication and resources the Tuchmans give and are committed to the Parkinson's community. Please welcome Marty Tuchman.
Thank you, Carol. First of all, I want to express my sincere appreciation for your hard work and dedication in raising millions of dollars for Parkinson's research over the past 20 years. We hear about breakthroughs every day, and although many of these take time to develop into a treatment, I do believe this year more than ever, we have great reason for hope as we continue this fight. 6 or 7 years ago, I could not have stood here on this stage and talked to you about disease-modifying therapies. And this means therapies that could alter the course of PD by stopping or slowing disease progression. But today I can, and I'd like to give you 3 examples. Last year, I spoke about a project we're funding at UCLA that uses a compound, CLRO1, that's halted the progression of Parkinson's disease in an animal model. This compound is called a molecular tweezer, and it inhibits the accumulation of abnormal proteins. Current research reports show improvements of motor skills still in the animal model, and the compound inhibits the toxicity caused by a pesticide linked to Parkinson's disease. Funds are currently being raised to get the CLR01 to human clinical trials. This is a big advance. Secondly, the National Institute of Health has just awarded a $23 million grant to begin a phase 3 trial testing a drug approved for hypertension for the purpose of slowing Parkinson's progression. The FDA-approved drug is a calcium channel blocker prescribed to treat high blood pressure. Laboratory tests have shown that blocking calcium channels protects dopamine neurons. The trial investigating this compound will be the most advanced current study into a disease-modifying therapy for Parkinson's. The interesting takeaway here is that the drug is already approved. It's just a matter of testing it on the ability to slow the progression of Parkinson's. A third example is a study by an Austrian biotech firm testing a vaccine to stimulate antibodies to clear out the so-called clumps of alpha-synuclein. The antibodies are the immune system's good guys whose job it is to keep us healthy. This vaccine could clear out the clumps and halt the disease's progression. While researchers are working on therapies to prevent, slow, or halt the progression of the disease, they're also working on better treatments for Parkinson's symptoms, for people who currently have Parkinson's and are trying to get a better quality of life. One of the most challenging problems facing people with Parkinson's today is that most effective treatments available eventually wear off over time. There are several new delivery systems in the pipeline which should give patients more on-time during each day, one of which is an inhalable product, much like the ones used for people with asthma. This delivery system is much more effective than taking a pill in terms of immediate reaction. I would urge you to visit our website, unitywalk.org, and you'll find research on this and other drugs that are in the pipeline. And what's interesting is it's all presented in layman's language. I want to thank Mayor de Blasio for allowing us to use this great park. And I want to encourage you to visit the booths and get as much information as you can about the therapies and programs. And most of all, enjoy the walk today. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Congresswoman Carolyn B. Maloney is the founder and co-chair of the Bicameral Congressional Caucus on Parkinson's Disease. The Congresswoman is a leading advocate of efforts to increase awareness of Parkinson's disease and continues to seek increased federal support for Parkinson's research. Please welcome a true champion for the Parkinson's community, Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you, Marty, for all your hard work to advance a cure for Parkinson's. And it's great to be here today for the 20th Parkinson's Unity Walk. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here during Parkinson's Awareness Month and for volunteering to be on the front lines in the fight for greater awareness, better treatments, and a cure for Parkinson's. Grassroots efforts like this really make a difference. You have helped to bring attention to the issue and accelerate the pace of research that is going to lead to a cure. And make no mistake, the pace of progress, though far too slow for anyone who is affected, has accelerated dramatically, as Marty Tuchman pointed out. The first mention of what we now call Parkinson's disease was made by the famous Greek physician Galen way back in 173 AD. More than 1,600 years passed before another doctor by the name of James Parkinson would publish a detailed medical essay on the subject. So if any disease needs a new approach, it's Parkinson's. And last year, President Obama launched the brain research through advancing innovative neurotechnologies known as the BRAIN program. This means $100 million to start a bold new research effort to better understand the human brain, to uncover new ways to treat, prevent, and cure brain disorders like Parkinson's. I'm also working with my colleagues on Parkinson's research through the Neurotoxin Exposure Treatment Research Program at the Department of Defense, because many of our service members have been coming back from Iraq and Kuwait after being exposed to deadly toxins, and they have Parkinson's. 80,000 vets now have Parkinson's. So we're 50 members of Congress have joined together to push for funding to have this program look into why, the connections, and how this happened. In addition, across the country, there are 12 Morris K. Udall Centers of Excellence for Parkinson's disease research, which was established in 1997 largely through the work of this community and Mr. Tuchman. They secured the funding that goes into these medical research centers across our country. One is in New York, Columbia University, and they are doing fantastic work. And while this research and initiatives are going on, there are some encouraging results. NIH-funded efforts led to the first DNA chip. It can actually identify genetic changes in a person who is at risk for a number of late-onset neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's. Now NIH is working to identify all the genetic factors that could contribute to the early onset of Parkinson's. NIH is also funding clinical trials on drugs that could slow the progression of Parkinson's. And they are researching how stem cells, genomics, or advanced imaging could lead to prevention or better treatment for Parkinson's. And I am especially pleased that New York City is the home of 2 scientists who won Nobel Prizes for their work on neurological diseases, Paul Greengard and Eric Kandel. Next year, we should get them out of the labs and walking with us. To Francis Collins, who is the director of NIH, and he told me about a new program he calls it AMP, Accelerating Medicine's Partnership. AMP, to discover new markers for brain diseases. Now, the AMP program is now focusing only on Alzheimer's, diabetes, and arthritis. We need to change that. We need to amp it up and include Parkinson's. Now, this is really, he called it controversial. I said it's common sense. He's making the drug companies sit down with the scientists at NIH and in the private sector and getting all of the sectors working together and sharing ideas. So we need to amp it up and get Parkinson's in. I've written my letter to Collins. All of you should write your letters. You should go to the PAN booth and email your Congress member. Tell them to join the Parkinson's caucus. We have 135 members. We should have 435 members. So let's amp it up and get Parkinson's in this program when we march next year. I want to welcome you to New York, which is truly the greatest city, I believe, and the greatest state and the greatest country in the world. And thank you for what you've accomplished already, for what your participation today and the funds that you have raised are making a difference. Your support has already contributed to the fight against Parkinson's disease. You are our secret weapon, our tipping point. You are the best. Keep walking for a cure. Thank you so much for being here. Let's find a cure together. Thank you.